Hi, my name is Steve Olson, and I'm your host of the Olson Files. So, Alabama and Missouri, along with a slew of other states, has been pushing pro-life bills against abortion, and that has been met with the typical fury of the far left and the moral authority of the Hollywood weird celebrities and singers and other people that tell us to shout the abortion from the rooftop and how that a baby is just a fetus, and even that argument is just a misuse of the word fetus, which is Latin for offspring. And so they're saying, it's okay just to kill your offspring, or better yet, it's okay to kill your baby. We see that a baby in the womb has its own heartbeat, its own DNA. An ultrasound also shows a baby forming. It can tell the difference of a boy or girl to tell you the gender of the baby, which now we have a so-called, thousands upon thousands of ways people can choose their, gender identity. Let's get a little off topic. The argument that its own body is nonsense. No woman has two heartbeats, two different brains, extra set of fingers, toes, arms, legs, heads, eyes. Benjamin Watson's wife, Kirsten Watson, has a really good video to kind of combat this at PragerU. She's having twins, and she just gives a pro-life reply to "My body, my choice." If it was just my body, why would I have 3 hearts, 3 brains, and 30 fingers? So there's a lot of different laws. They're going across several different states. The pro-life is becoming a great trend for this country. Alabama is one of the first ones. It's just the Alabama controversy is just starting. These abortion cases are at the Supreme Court right now, and this is a Daily Caller. Alabama's far-reaching abortion restrictions have set off a fevered speculation about the future of Roe versus Wade, but 2 abortion cases are already pending before the Supreme Court. One involves Indiana laws require women to have ultrasounds 18 hours before termination, which is a good thing. Impose rules on the disposal of fetal remains, another good thing, so they can't be, sold or be used being sold to different things, which has been covered. And ban abortion based on sex, race, and disability, which is eugenics, something that Margaret Sanger was for, and the fact that Planned Parenthood appears in a lot of different inner cities, and it affects Black people the most, kills more Black people than gun violence in inner cities. And then another case arose in Louisiana, which their governor is a Democrat, and he seems to be breaking with the party. Very rare to have a pro-life Democrat, which he looks like he's probably going to sign that into law, which adopt a law requiring that abortion providers have admitting privileges at a local hospital. And of course, we got down here, it kind of repeats itself, mandatory ultrasounds. Vice President Mike Pence is one of, when he was governor of Indiana, he signed a lot of abortion regulations, which were good. Goes on to say he signed a battery of abortion regulations into law during his tenure as a governor of Indiana. These mandates require a woman to have an ultrasound 18 months before terminating pregnancy. So compel medical professionals to cremate or bury fetal remains and ban abortions on the basis of sex, race, and disability, which is again eugenics. And then Missouri lawmakers approved banning abortions at 8 weeks. Just like what we talked about, babies having their own heartbeats. The Republican governors in Ohio and Georgia have passed a similar measure in their states seeking to ban abortions once a fetal heartbeat is detectable, which typically occurs at 6 weeks into pregnancy. And this is kind of like a disclaimer to help out the pro-abortion people before many women know they're pregnant. Well, that's sad if you don't know if you're pregnant at that time. Most people who would keep the baby are probably in a relationship. Others who don't want to keep the baby most likely will probably be single. The measures have united a national debate over abortion rights and set in motion a number of legal challenges. Then we see the sweeping um, pro-life trend that has taken the nation and hopefully won't stop to reach the Supreme Court. 14 states have passed laws this year making it harder to get an abortion. And then Washington's Post, Democracy Dies in Darkness. I don't know what that's about. We got 9 states introduced measures to ban all or most abortions. Only one, Oklahoma, made it to the governor's desk. The governor vetoed it. 3 states have banned the most common method of second trimester abortions: Alabama, Mississippi, and West Virginia. All 13 have tried. We asked governors deciding whether to sign a similar law. Again, a Democrat. 2 states, Louisiana and Kentucky, have lengthened the waiting period to get an abortion, which is also good to help prevent that. South Dakota and South Carolina voted to enact abortion bans after 20 weeks, making them the 16th and 17th state to do so. And then again, we talk about Indiana, which is already some of the most restrictive abortion laws in the nation, made it illegal to abort a fetus because it's diagnosed with Down syndrome or because of its race and gender. And I heard something sad. In Norway, they have something crazy like a 95% abortion rate for kids with Down syndrome. That's really sad just because they have some type of defect that they don't want and just want to get rid of them. We also hear the argument about, what if the kid's born into poverty, or what if the kid's not going to be well taken care of, or what if it ruins my career? But that shouldn't be a way to just get rid of your baby. Again, the misuse of the terminology of fetus, which means offspring, or just a fetus. No, it's your offspring, it's your baby. We go on to go a little later. There are 31 states that have at least one of the following 5 regulations: requiring waiting periods, restricting health insurance coverage for abortions, banning abortions after 20 weeks, post-fertilization, requiring abortion clinics to meet surgical centers standards. And then we see some more good news. Anti-abortion activists aren't just celebrating one good year. 2016, when Trump got elected, marks the 5th straight year they've passed a large number of abortion restrictions. That was because of Republicans controlling the House and the Congress and being able to fight a lot of, not very well, but this is a good issue on pro-life, of being able to fight Obama and the Democrats on issues like this. In 2011, Republican legislators passed 92 laws eliminating abortions. In total, the past 5 years accounted for a quarter of all abortion restrictions enacted in the Supreme Court since the Supreme Court legalized abortion in 1973, which was case of Roe versus Wade was based on a lie, but we'll get to that later. Things are happening so quick at state level. Some advocates for women's rights, again, misusing terminology just like fetus, women's rights to choose. They shouldn't. A woman is carrying a different body, a different brain, a different DNA. Once they made their choice, they should have to carry that baby, because you shouldn't just be able to dispose of life like it means nothing. Again, they miss a woman's right. It's a misuse of terminology, misuse of words. And then it says Republican waves hasn't stopped. We go a little map over here: control of overall state legislative action. You see Democrat controlled, Republican controlled. My great state, Oregon, blue. But we see about 30 different states which were controlled by legislature, which are controlled by Republicans. So that is good. Then we have Texas House approves new abortion restrictions. GOP housemaker laws took a sweeping approach to anti-abortion legislation on Friday, passing a measure that would ban the most common form of second trimester procedure. Now, second trimester is when you already know that you have a baby and you're just getting rid of it because it is a problem for you, or it has some type of birth defect, or some people even aborted it because they wanted a girl and not a boy, or just crazy stuff like that. Change our healthcare providers dispose of fetal remains instead of just throwing them in the trash like that Gosnell guy. And so let's just go down a little further. So many pundits have theorized that they are trying to push it to the Supreme Court to get the court to challenge a unjust ruling in 1973 on Roe versus Wade. So Roe versus Wade was based on a lie. And many pundits, again, are theorizing that this is a way to get it to the Supreme Court to have them re-vote on it because it was all based on a lie. So let's go over the history before we get to the lie. Roe versus Wade, this is History Channel. Roe versus Wade was a landmark 1973 Supreme Court decision that established a woman's legal right to an abortion. The court ruled in a 7-2 decision that a woman's right to choose an abortion was protected by the privacy rights guaranteed by the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. The legal precedent for the decision was rooted in the 1965 case of Griswold versus Connecticut, which established right to privacy, including following medical procedures. And then, despite opponents' characterization of the decision, it was not the first time that abortion became a legal procedure in the United States. In fact, for most of the countries, the first 100 years, abortion, as we know it today, was not only a criminal offense, it was also not considered immoral, which again is pretty horrible. But let's just go to the exposing the lie. So let's just go to the truth. Lie 1, Jane Roe had been raped. The truth, she wasn't raped and she never had an abortion. So Jane Roe, whom we now know as Norman McCovey, was just 21 years old when she became pregnant for the third time and sought an abortion in the state of Texas. Texas law, however, stated that a woman could undergo an abortion if the mother's life was at risk. Again, an exception for a very, very small percentage of people. I like Trump. I don't agree with him on everything, but he said he agreed with if a mother's life's at risk or if incest or rape. Again, those are very, very, very small percentages. So McCovey was put in contact with 2 lawyers, Lyndon Coffey and Sarah Whittington, who were looking for a pregnant woman to help them build a case to legalize abortion. McCovey lied and said she had been raped. That lie became the basis for the legal fight against the district attorney of Dallas County, Henry Wade, Roe versus Wade. And the lawyers knew the case would never be finished in time for McCovey to get an abortion. She ended up giving birth and placing the child for adoption. McCovey not only admitted later on that she had lied about being raped, but she became pro-life and worked to end legal abortion up until her death in 2017. Now, let's go down a little further. We have 2 different stories of this, but when you fight for something to become law, and you end up changing your mind later, realizing what a horrible thing you did to legalize killing babies. Once the law passes, it's really hard to get it taken off the books or to get it re-voted on. It wasn't even a thing that people could vote on, much like gay marriage. Like a liberal state like Oregon voted against gay marriage multiple times, but the Supreme Court passed it, which again gets back to federalism and state rights, which these states are trying to push. But let's get back to the other sad thing of people pushing an abortion and then realizing their mistake. Dr. Bernard Nathanson was one of the original co-founders of NARWAL, the first abortion advocate group whose mind was changed after the issue after watching an ultrasound showing the struggle of a fetus fighting for its life. What I found incredible about this film was a display of the many deadly instruments depicted that would be inserted into the woman's body. Ironically, laws in New York forbade parents from having their children's eyes pierced without parental permission. But Planned Parenthood is not such on a mission about allowing these metal instruments to be inserted into minors, requesting termination of inconvenient pregnancies. So it's really, really sad that we have laws preventing, to get a tattoo, you have to get a parental permission or to get yours pierced, but it's okay to go in an abortion clinic, which Planned Parenthood is. That's all they really do, and be able to get rid of a human life. This is really sad. She lied to the court that Miss Montgomery had sought out many places to have it performed. Bernard Nathanson admitted lying about the number of back alley abortions, said the figure of 5,000 to 10,000 was completely fabricated. According to health records in 1972, over 130,000 women attempted self-abortions, 39 died. So the numbers are way, way out of left field. And this guy who helped push this, narrated by a guy who pushed the law and a co-founder to get abortion legalized, changed his mind after seeing a fetus struggling for its life. So what does that mean? A fetus struggling for its life? That means that the baby can feel pain, being ripped apart limb to limb. If you show most people a video, again, misworded, fetus, offspring is baby, your child, fighting for its life. If you showed a video of actual baby being dismembered, I think many people would change their mind. And then over 1 million illegal abortions have taken place in the U.S. Another lie. 10,000 women died annually from illegal abortions. Legal abortion would still lead to safe abortion. The truth, women are still injured and killed by abortion. The embryo, fetus, preborn are not human beings, which is sad. Biology and technology both show that a person can be nothing other than human. Nathanson, after becoming pro-life, admitted it was a strategic move to claim that preborn children are not humans. Again, using terminology to be deceptive and lie to the population of America. One of the strategies says was deny what we knew to be true, that abortion kills an existing human being. We denied that fact in effort to mislead the American public and the courts of this land. Thanks to modern technology, we now have the opportunity to see inside the womb at every stage of development. Pro-choice Americans can no longer claim that preborn children are not human beings. If it hadn't been for all these lies, perhaps the United States could have found better ways to help women facing unplanned or high-risk pregnancies, like contraception, the pill, condoms. Killing preborn babies have not helped to end rape or poverty. It hasn't helped women to receive equal treatment compared to men. All it's done is continue the lies that women are weak and incapable. Just, it's the bigotry of low expectations. Just like, saying that people of color can't get licenses or IDs to vote. It's again, using, kind of a sexist argument that women are weak and incapable. So, so we have some stuff just laid out. Two people that helped to push this law into, law that changed America and led to mass deaths into the millions, worse than the wars we fought in. And it's really sad, and it goes back to federalism and hopefully pushing this forward if we can get more people who follow the Constitution, who are instead of judges who are activists, if we get constitutional judges that hopefully Trump can get more in, that we can go back to state rights and have the state decide instead of have a Supreme Court just decide, that, gay marriage is okay and that abortion is okay and we can get this pushed back. But we saw different left reactions. Alyssa Milano went to go on a sex strike, and many people on the right applauded her decision, that, hey, having no sex is a good way to prevent being pregnant. It's abstinence. Babylon Bee has a spoof. It's a satire site, so no one thinks, it's like lying. But Alyssa Milano launches a line of purity rings. And then we have another Babylon Bee post. You can't oppose killing puppies unless you adopt every dog on the planet. So, again, if you have a kid, you can give them for adoption, or that's an option, but it's making fun of people that say, unless you adopt every single person, you can't have an opinion. And then, should have lost it. Oh, so Joey Barr on The View, a show that I can never watch any more than a little clip on YouTube, said that men should have to get actually vasectomies. So this woman's comment, Stacey Keith, said on a Facebook post, so that means that a woman who has an abortion should have a hysterectomy. That's how stupid it is. If men want to help prevent pregnancies, they can use a condom. But I really like that, vasectomy, so you should get rid of your uterus. That's what it is. So, just a lot of different comments, from the far left about, shouting your abortion from the rooftop, and Alyssa Milano on a sex strike, and Mayor Pete, I think Trump or someone said he looks like the guy off of Mad the Magazine. He looks exactly like him, but he is going along with extreme position of all the different people on the left that thinks you should be able to abort a baby to the time it's born. Up until the time it's born, like, you could be dilating and still abort the baby. Or like, it was a governor of, I think it was Virginia, but he said, if a baby doesn't die during an abortion, they'll keep the baby comfortable and decide to see where to go from there. Now that's definitely murder. Just like the doctor who killed, thousands of baby, even something about like drowning them in a 5-gallon bucket. But it was really weird to see. I wonder about Chris Wallace, but not to push him on that more. Like, you think it's okay to, kill a baby up until when it's dilating. But we see like the far left thinking it's okay to murder a baby. Let's just say offspring, your baby, not fetus. That's just a use of the word terminology. But it's just really sad to see, and I think it's going to be a big issue that's really going to help conservatives in the upcoming election. And if you guys like this video, please subscribe, please like, and we will have another video shortly for you. So again, please subscribe, please like, and we'll have some more videos loaded up for you.